guys, welcome to our very next team of the season prediction video. As you guys can tell from the awesome thumbnail, the title, it's going to be, and the background is going to be about the Bundesliga. Now, I don't actually know if this coming Friday is going to be the Bundesliga team of the season being released. I'm kind of guessing that it's going to be based on the last few years as team of the season. So it kind of starts with the most consistent, goes to the Premier League, and then goes to the Bundesliga. Now, if you guys are super excited for today's video, smash the like button. As always, I want to have a conversation with you guys in the comments down below based off of what you guys agree or disagree with my choices. Try not to be abusive. The last one we did for the Premier League team of the season, even though my choices were all pretty damn accurate, there's still people just getting offensive saying Canadians don't know anything about this and that. Don't be that, bigoted moron. Try to have a constructive conversation in the comments without being a degenerate douchebag. Either way, I'm very excited to go over this. As you can tell in the thumbnail, there's a few featured players that I think no one's really going to disagree with them getting in the team of the season. However, with every single choice that I try to make, we're going to do exactly what we did the last time. We're going to use squawkwa.com, which is a statistical comparison website, and every decision we make throughout this video is going to be statistically analyzed. Goals conceded, goals scored, tackles, passes, pass accuracy, passes forward, all of that stuff. Every single set of stats will be different for defenders, wing backs, attackers, midfielders, defensive mids, center attacking mids. Gonna try and have a lot of fun with the stats, and I think a lot of you guys enjoyed that when we did the Premier League because we basically had things to back up our opinions and our decisions for players to put in the team. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Let me know as well in the comments what next prediction video you want me to do. I think I'm going to do either Ligue 1 or Serie A. I'm probably going to do Serie A next. You're going to be looking at this and saying, oh well, that was pretty damn easy and everyone would have expected that. Yes, but I kind of wanted to give ourselves like a standing comparison. Like, have Neuer in there. We all know that he's going to get in the team of the season. Still the world's best goalkeeper, I would argue as well. But I just wanted you guys to see kind of where he's at in comparison to everyone else in the Bundesliga, and then we can start looking into it. So in terms of clean sheets, this is per 90 minutes. So the clean sheets is kind of not the most accurate if you do it per 90 minutes. You could really do totals. I think that would make a little bit more sense. So there you go. 20 clean sheets out of 33 games. And then for the 5 goalkeepers that I'm using, I think it's pretty damn good calls, I think, for everyone. I know there's going to be a lot of goalkeepers that maybe more avid Bundesliga watchers would want to see in there, and I hope to try and make you guys happy in a few seconds here. But we went with Neuer, Farman, who played 32 games, Leno, who played 31 games, Karius, who played 33 games, and then Timo Horn as well, who played 33 games. So Neuer just blows everyone out of the park. So I think clean sheets is best looked at in terms of totals. Second best is Leno, so that's kind of nice to see for Leno. But then I think looking at 90-minute metrics is probably still a better way to go, especially once we start looking at center backs, wing backs, midfielders and all of that stuff. But goals conceded per game, 0.48, and then look at every single other goalkeeper. Now that could come down to, as a lot of people argued in my Premier League team of the season prediction video, that comes down to a lot of like the team, right, that's in front of Neuer. But to be fair, that's still pretty damn incredible compared to everyone else. Again, Leno wins it gets second place with the least amount of goals conceded per game, but still, man, more than a goal conceded per game. Saves per goal, this one's a little bit more even for everyone other than Neuer, but Neuer knocks that one out of the park. Then you've got in second place Karius, and then in third place was it, okay, yeah, wow, so that is pretty tight for everybody, to be fair. Distribution accuracy, at first I didn't want to look at it because I thought everyone would be damn even, but again, it's Neuer with this incredible accuracy, tossing the ball and getting it up the field to his teammates without giving up possession. And then the other goalkeepers are relatively even, although, to be fair, Farman is the winner, and then Leno a close second. And then this is the interesting one. The total score for Neuer just knocks everyone out of the park. So I think everyone can agree that Neuer is going to get into the team of the season. We'll put him right in the starting 11. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. Now, I'm just going to use his team of the year card and edit that up ever so slightly. So we'll bring him down to a, I don't know, we'll do a 95 or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what EA is going to end up giving him, but there you go. We'll do that, and then we'll put the other goalkeeper in the reserves, but this is going to be, I think, how we decide it. So let's get rid of Neuer, and then things get relatively interesting. And honestly, from someone that doesn't watch too much Bundesliga, I watch a few games here and there, a few Dortmund, a few Bayern games, I can't make the judgment other than looking at statistics. So if you guys disagree with my secondary choice, that's fine. Please have that discussion with me in the comments down below. I'm fine with that. I'm also looking at the table where everyone is laid out as well. To be fair, Bayer is doing pretty damn good. So I don't know if I would push it towards Leno. You know, he's really close. That distribution accuracy. What is that? Okay, there we go. I have to click it per 90 minutes again. So I am going to put one more goalkeeper in there. And again, I'm not entirely sure if you guys are going to agree or disagree with this, but I'm going to go with Jarstein. We could go with, I guess, Baumann. We could go with a few other goalkeepers. We could go with Sommer, a few people wanted to argue. But I'm going to go with Jarstein just to have a look at, you know, 5 goalkeepers that we're going to put in the reserve. So everything is pretty damn even. Let's be real here. Now, clean sheets, okay. Jarstein does slightly better than Leno, but pretty even to Leno. And then you got to look at where is Hertha, by the way? So they're close enough. They're fighting for a Europa League spot, fair enough. So they're far enough up the field, but they're tied. So I would say Leno in clean sheets with Jarstein is tied. Goals conceded, the least is Leno, but not by a huge amount, to be fair, but it is still Leno. Jarstein is actually the second highest, so that's not that great. Saves per goal is pretty damn even for everyone, if I'm honest, although Karius blows that one out of the water. And let me just have a look at where's Mines as well, aren't they? Yeah, they're in 5th, so everyone's actually pretty damn close together. I feel like most people would consider consider or agree with me going with Farman, so he's gonna get into the substitute bench for me. Farman. And I think they'll probably boost him up to like an 89 rated card or something like that. Maybe a little bit higher, who knows. 89 rated. And again, just like we did for the Premier League Team of the Season, I'm putting their ratings at where I think they're going to be, but I'm not like doing their in-game, like their reflexes and all of those stats. So next up is, I think, going to be another extremely contested set of picks. The center backs from the Bundesliga. Now, this is just the first 5 I'm going to look at. We have a whole bunch more. Sulu, Ta, I'd like to see. Naldo, although I don't think he's had the greatest season. I'd love to have a look at him. So I'm probably going to do this 5 first, and then we're going to look at another set of 5. And now, without a shadow of a doubt, I think Alaba is going to get in there, but I just want to have a little bit of a comparison of him with everyone else first. Here are all of the stats that I wanted to have a look at. Now, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, really, depending on how you look at it, but Alaba's stats aren't going to be incredible. Now, at the end of the day, that's just how Bayern is. That's how they play. They're barely defending as it is anyways. So these statistics aren't going to look that great on Alaba, but I don't think there's going to be that many people that would disagree that Alaba gets into the Team of the Season. And we'll look at the stats either way. So the first thing we're going to look at, and remember, we're going to look at 5 other defenders. This is going to be probably a long video again, but I'll try and get through this as quick as I can. First thing we're looking at is interception. So in terms of interceptions per game, Ta is actually winning that one outright. Blocks per game is Andreas Christensen. Now, again, probably because these two teams I feel like are going to concede a hell of a lot more attacks on them than anything, but these two definitely deserve to be in the conversation. Absolutely. Tackles one, to be fair, Matt Hummels knocks it out of the park. This is per game. And then really, honestly, Alaba and Matip are, you know, a little bit less, and then, you know, a close second is Taz. So Taz actually is rather impressive to me so far. Fouls committed, the least is Andreas Christensen, and then I believe right after that it is Alaba. Hummels, you know, they're still all pretty well dead even there. Defensive score is interesting though. Everyone is relatively even until you look at Hummels beating the shit out of everyone with a 21 score, and then Ta after that gets himself a 17 score. But again, I think it's also because Alaba pushes up the field quite a little bit more and almost turns into like a CDM and all of that stuff. So not entirely sure how accurate that is. This is one of the stats that I wanted to look at though, just off of the off chance of thinking this would help Alaba look better, but and it does clearly. But holy God, Hummels, just the best ball playing, moving center backs in the world. And again, I repeat, the fact that Bayern now have freaking, seriously, Boateng and Hummels. Boateng already, I argue to you guys all the time, in my opinion, is one of the best ball playing center backs in the world. And Hummels next to him now, God help everyone in the Champions League next year. For the time being, Alaba gets in here. Look at this. Oh my god. Imagine his team of this. Imagine the team of the season though. So we'll give him like a 93 center back rating. And he'll have something like 93 pace or something at center back, which is just going to be ridiculous. And then Matt Hummels, who also has an inform, 2 informs this year. So there you go. So give him as well the 93. Oh my god. I am so excited for the potential of this team of the season. I think Todd deserves to be in there. Absolutely. To be fair, you know what? Andreas Christensen could get in there as well. So I might put them both on the bench. All right, and as a comparison, I'm going to keep Andreas Christensen in the team. Ta, when comparing all 5 of them, maybe I should have kept Ta in here, but was quite a bit better. So Ta, I think, is going to stay on the bench, but Christensen, I think, is still up for being kept in or removed here. Sulu, I want to have a look at. Naldo, I want to have a look at, even though I didn't think he had a great season. Already looking at some of his per 90-minute stats, they look to be half decent. And then Spahic looks good. Now, again, there's a hell of a lot more players. A lot of people are going to say Kimmich, but he played like 17 games in the Bundesliga, so I don't know if that would count for me. I don't know if I would put any of these 2 in the team, honestly. I think for the time being, I would keep the team as is, like this. And again, if we don't find any other like decent wingbacks or anything, then maybe I'll consider putting in Sulu or Spahic in the team as well. Looking at both things here, I do think if I'm completely honest, it would be Spahic that gets in. So moving into the wing backs, this is what I've kind of shortlisted for the 5 I want to look at. Now, I've already put in 2 team of the season just because they got in the most consistent anyways, and I think they deserve it. I quickly looked at their stats. Weiser and Schmelzer will undoubtedly be in the Bundesliga team of the season. I don't think many people would disagree with that. However, there are quite a few guys that still could argue being in there. I personally just wanted to see how Bernat's done. I didn't realize he played that few games, but let's ignore that, because I do like looking at players that have played more games, right? But let's ignore essentially the 10 less games for Bernat than anyone else. But let's just have a look at it. Now, I am super excited about one person, and this is solely because of Ultimate Team. This card, Wendell, this beautiful Brazilian beast, is so overpowered in FIFA already, and he's just a non-rare 78 rated card or something like that. So the fact that he could get a team of the season, I'm very excited about. That was before I looked at his stats. Then you look at his stats. Interceptions, kicks everyone's ass. Tackles 1, kicks everyone's ass. Defensive score, oddly enough, doesn't do the greatest, which I don't like. I would love to know. I'm assuming that's just like a culmination of all the stats. Bernat does very, very well there. Total forward passes, though, to be fair, Lam does fantastically well. Now, Lam, a lot of people may argue with, but Lam is, as far as I know, played right back pretty much all year, and then he may move into midfield positions. I don't know, and I should have these stats in front of me to not just sit here and say, I don't know. You could argue for Ricardo Rodriguez getting in there. You could argue for Bernat getting in there. You could argue for, a whole slew of players getting in there, but I'm going to go with Wendell, and honestly, I just for myself, I want to see what we're looking at here in terms of his stats. 77 rated. Look at how sexual this card's going to be. So we'll probably get like an 82 rated card or something along those lines. Team of the season. They'll boost him up maybe to like 90 pace, 79, maybe 80 defending, like 82, 83 dribbling, 78, 79 passing, 78, 79 physical. That's going to be such a sick card if he gets into it. That's my choice. People are going to disagree with it. It is what it is. Even when you compare Ginter and Lam, yes, Ginter does win in interceptions and tackles 1, but not by a hell of a lot. And then Lam kicks his ass, wins in the total forward passes, successful passes, etc. So I think Lam gets in the starting 11 at right back. Again, let me know if you guys disagree. I think he deserves it. There we go. And he will get, oh my God, this is going to be like his team of the year card from last year. Team of the season. He'll probably get like 82, 83 pace. My God, for a right back, that is not going to be a very fair card to use. So that's what I'm thinking of. You know what? I think Ricardo Rodriguez could squeak into the team, and a few others, because we do have reserves to think about as well. But that's what I'm looking at right now. So I want to start out with, in the midfield, with the defensive-minded mids. Now, again, there's even a few in here that we would already argue maybe aren't defensive-minded, Vidal and even Xhaka. But I think we got to start this route, and this is tough, man. For me, this is just really tough making these decisions. I know people are going to heavily disagree no matter what I go with, so I'm just going to carry on with it. Now, Dahoud has had a fantastic season. Weigl has had, I'm saying his name wrong, I apologize, has had an incredible season. And to be fair, everyone else here has had incredible seasons. So this is why this is so difficult for me to make choices with. And there's a few guys I'm leaving out as well. But we'll start out with interceptions-wise. Xhaka, you know, winning it by a long shot. Weigl, though, for how young he's super young, right? Is Weigl super young? I'm assuming he's like really, yeah, no, he is, right? He's under 20s or 21, something like that. So, I think for his age, he's done incredibly well. Absolutely godly for Dortmund. So I'm gonna squeak. Anyways, we'll leave it at that. Let me look at the stats. So tackles 1, Arturo Vidal, fair enough, and then Xhaka close afterwards. Forward passes, interestingly or non-interestingly enough, is Alonso, but equally here, everyone's doing well. Dahoud is an out-and-out CDM as far as I know, right? Successful passes though, again, Alonso doing incredibly well, with the other 4 close behind. Total score is interesting, and I think that would take in goals scored, etc., etc. Is Arturo Vidal as a box-to-box mid. I think he's just going to get a better score in that regard. Now, to be fair, Xhaka is someone that I thought would easily walk into it and might still get on the reserves. I think people would include him in the reserves no matter what, but I thought he would walk into the starting 11. Doesn't really seem like it. Weigl knocks it out of the park. I say knocks it out of the park too much, but anyways. So I would put him in the team. I honestly would put him in. Is this not per 90 minutes? Oh, it's not per 90 minutes. Okay, so let's do, there you go. Still, I think it helps us out. So defensive score per game per 90 minutes is Weigl by a lot. Successful passes is Alonso, but Weigl is pretty close there. Forward passes is Alonso, but Weigl is in the argument. Tackles 1 is Arturo Vidal, to be fair. And then interceptions is Xhaka, but Weigl is just in and around there all the time. And I think a lot of Dortmund fans would agree that him being in the team and him developing so well and so quickly has really helped them, I guess, stay in second place. So it's going to be some disagreements here, but I am going to put him in the team at CDM. Now, he's had a 67 rated card. He's been boosted to 74. I think, unfortunately, that probably means that we're just going to get another 74 rated team of the season card. I'm going to go with it. I think that's cool. I think he'll have fantastic stats. He'll probably be like a Dyer, right, from the BPL in terms of a silver CDM who's fantastic. So that's what I'm thinking we get. I think no matter what, Arturo Vidal and Alonso get into the team with the reserves. I also do think that I genuinely think pretty much every single one of these guys gets in. It's gonna be some people that just get onto the bench no matter what, but I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with Arturo Vidal, 92 rated. Oh my god, this card. This card. This card is going to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, yeah, I could put Arturo Vidal there. I don't think it really matters. Even the starting 11 versus the bench, I don't think matters all that much. So that's what I'm going to do with the starting 11. Just so you guys know as well, I am gonna count, even though we have only the 18 players, I don't have the reserves. I would, just so you know, I would count in the team of the season Alonso, Dahoud, and Xhaka. I would put them all in there. So just so you guys know that. And just for argument's sakes, here is a comparison for Gundo and Gonzalo Castro. I know a lot of Dortmund fans would want to see them in there. Statistically, I don't know. I don't see them, you know, beating up on anyone else really in anything, to be fair. IK, of course, has the interceptions, but that's about it. So you know what? IK could get into the reserves, but... And quickly, I want to have a look at the attacking side of the midfield. And again, we're leaving out a few players. A lot of people are going to disagree. Unizovic should be in there, among others. This is just what I'm looking at right now. Because, again, on paper and just throughout the year, this is who I've seen has done well. And I wanted to see just how good they've actually done. And one of the ones that again, is incredible in FIFA. And you guys all know I love using him. I didn't think he had this good of a season. So... Hakan GG. So we're looking at Shinji, we're looking at Thomas, we're looking at Mali, Didavi, and of course Hakan Calhanoglu. Hopefully I say his name properly. Interceptions, now that's not too big of a deal in terms of an attacking minded mid or a forward pushing mid, but I thought it'd be something that is relatively interesting to look at in terms of how much an attacking mid would come back and help out. And well, there you go. So, well, is this per 90 minutes? It is per 90 minutes. Okay, perfect. So Calhanoglu wins there. Total forward passes is something that impresses me a lot, to be honest. I thought it would have been either Kagawa or the Mule, and it's not. It's Calhanoglu again, so GG there. Successful passes, so in terms of safer passing, definitely Kagawa, but Hacken as well, pretty close there compared to anyone else. Attacking score, to be fair, that's Thomas the Mule, and I think that comes down to his goals, right? Yeah, well, there you go, goals and assists. So well done to Thomas, and I guess everyone's pretty even there, although Didavi has a pretty decent score. Now, I want to just look at totals for goals and assists. I think that's just going to be a hell of a lot better. So here we go. So the Mule has 20 goals in the Bundesliga. Like, you just can't deny putting him in there, honestly, as an attacking mid, whereas Hacken only has 3 and only 5 assists. The Mule, in terms of out and out stats, this is what's so hard about this stuff. Every single player does decently in given areas. Before looking at the goals and assists, I would have thought Hacken gets in the reserves no matter what. But I'm thinking it's going to be the Mule. He just gets in here. All right? That's without a shadow of a doubt. Disagree with me all you want. I think he gets in easily in this position. Oh my God, this card as well. It's going to be what, like a 94 rated? 94 rated team of the season with just the most outrageous stats. And then outside of that, I think Shinji for sure gets into the reserves. The argument then is going to be, well, wow, there's going to be a lot of guys that get denied here. They don't get denied though. We've got like 5 other, right? 5 other reserves that we're gonna have a little bit of discussion right at the end of the video with an idiot, pretty much, of who gets into it though, okay? Because we still have to look at forwards, strikers. We haven't even gotten there yet. But that's the route I'm going. I would say out of all of these though, if I was forced to put one of them on the bench in the reserves, I would love to see Hacken. That would be my outright choice. But in terms of the metrics, considering, is it gonna adjust? There we go. Considering Didavi is relatively close to Hacken and then kicks his ass in terms of goals and assists, or in terms of goals, I would probably put Didavi in the reserves. So I want to have a look at wingers before we have a look at strikers, because I think in the back of my mind, I know who the strikers are, who are going to get into it. I'm pretty sure they're the featured players in the title and in the thumbnail and all of that stuff. Those are relatively easy to go with. These are going to be the ones that are a little bit harder to argue. Unless you look at Mkhitaryan. Holy God, what a beast. What an absolute beast. So you look at total forward passes, Mkhitaryan kicks ass. Successful passes by a long shot, Mkhitaryan kicks ass. Attacking score, Mkhitaryan kicks ass. Goals scored, Mkhitaryan almost kicks ass. You know, Royce has done pretty well. But assists, 15 assists. Absolutely incredible. He kicks ass. Key passes, he kicks ass. So without a shadow of a doubt, I actually thought, and I still think Douglas Costa is going to get into the team of the season, even if he's like put somewhere else, or, you know, you look at those stats and they don't look maybe as insane as a few of the other players. I think no matter what, because of the name and how well and what an impact Douglas Costa has had, I think he gets into it undoubtedly. However, before looking at Mkhitaryan stats, just in my head, I would have put Douglas Costa in the starting 11, but honestly, I think 100% Mkhitaryan gets into the team for sure. Mkhitaryan, there we go. Whether or not EA put him as a right mid or whatever, I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to give him a 91 rating, and that card, I love him, man. If you guys watch my Pack Odds Road to Glory series, the 85 rated inform that we pulled, or second inform or whatever, is so good. So I can only imagine a team of the season version of Mkhitaryan is just going to be absolutely wonderful to use. Now, if you go down and look at 90 minutes per 90 minutes, and I'm going to get rid of Mkhitaryan because he's already in the setup, this is where things get, you know, into Douglas Costa's favor, as you guys can see. So just kicks everyone's ass when you're looking at a per 90 minute outlay. He wins it. So I think Costa, he won't get into the starting 11. He won't make it onto the reserves because we have no space. But Douglas Costa will get in here. So I'm actually just going to get rid of Dahoud. Dahoud, remember, is going to be in my reserves. Didavi is in my reserves. Spahic is in my reserves. And Ike Gundogan are in my reserves, okay? For the sole reason of me just being able to fit on someone as awesome as Douglas Costa. Wow, Dusta. Good one. I'm going to get rid of Dahoud, but he will be in the reserves. Where are you, Douglas? So there you are. Again, not entirely sure where EA is going to, where they're going to put him at. I would assume left mid or right mid. He seems to shift all over the place when I watch him in the Champions League. So 89 rated Costa. Oh, get in my pants. That is such a gorgeous card. There we go. Okay. And to be fair, as much as I thought someone like Julian Brandt would be incredible, Leroy Sané would be incredible, you know, Nikolai Mueller would be incredible. Really, it is Marco Reus at the end of the day. Total forward passes is relatively even for everyone, although Brandt does better. Successful passes is even between the two. Attacking score is relatively close, but still goes in Reus's favor. Goals scored per game slightly goes in Reus's favor. Assists between the two, because other than Sané getting this, it's still the comparison between Brandt and Reus. Reus gets it. Key passes, Reus gets it. So I think Reus is the final guy that gets into our reserves, which is crazy to think. You could easily put Marco Reus in the starting 11, but I think without a shadow of a doubt, Marco Reus gets into it. The other one that I want to have a look at is the Juventus loanee, right? I don't think Bayern have purchased him yet. Oh, Champions League. Did I make that mistake with anyone else? Kingsley Coman, Bundesliga, Bundesliga, Bundesliga. Okay. So that is the next argument that we could have. I kind of want to do a head-on. So it would have been between these two before I put Coman in. I would have picked Reus. So what I'm going to do, just to make the comparisons easier, I'm going to get rid of everyone and then have, there you go, a side-by-side comparison. So I think when you look at that in terms of total forward passes, successful passes being relatively close, but Coman winning it, attacking score, Reus winning it, goals scored, definitely I think we need to just look at totals for the last few. Goals scored for Reus 4, assists Coman wins it by a little bit, but then key passes, Reus wins it. So even though a lot of Bayern fans would want to see a Coman, I think I'm going to pick Reus as going into the reserves, okay? So I'm going to write this down because, again, at the end of the video, wait, where's Dahoud? There we go. At the end of the video, I want to review the 5 players that get into the reserves, even though I've told it to you guys. Honestly, I don't know who would be in versus who would be out, but like Lewandowski's just been an absolute boss, and the fact that we could end up getting like a 97 team of the season Lewandowski is just incredible. So I'm going to give that to Lewandowski, and then one of my favorite players in the entire game to use, especially just his 84 rated card, super cheap, like 4,000 coins, and he's probably the best cheap striker in the game. I don't know many people that would disagree, so I would give him like a 93 rated card, and just, oh my lord, what a beautiful thing that is. So in the reserves, the final guy that makes it into the reserves, well, actually doesn't really make it into the reserves, I'm gonna have to clear someone out, is this dude here. So Christensen, you may or may not get into the team, but I do not think that EA is going to deny. Oh wow, is he not? Do they? Okay, all right. Hernandez, there you go. I think Javier Hernandez gets into it, and well, we're gonna have a look at the stats as well to either prove or disprove what I'm thinking. But these are the 3 that I think get into it: Hernandez, Aubameyang, and Lewandowski. Now let's have a look at these stats and see if I am indeed correct. There you go. Again, in comparison, he's got the better assist, sure, but in terms of goals scored, we're talking about out-and-out strikers really right now, right? Not like anything too much other than that. So I think, based off of my mind and my ideas, I definitely think that these 3 win it. So thank you so much for watching the video. This is kind of how the team looks like on the game currently, of course, without their team of the season boost. But again, even looking at Ultimate Team, this just looks absolutely incredible. I'm so excited for this to be released. I think it is going to be this Friday. Remember to smash the like button. Thank you so very much for the support on my YouTube channel. I'm so grateful for everything you guys do for me on a daily basis, and I hope you guys feel the reciprocation in terms of the amount of good content I try to give you guys. I know that normally we only do 5 videos a week on YouTube. Lately I've been doing 6, sometimes 7. That'll go back down to 5 once the team of the season is done. It's just I'm having a really tough time fitting as much content as I want with only 5 videos a week. Anyways, on that note, have a great day, great morning, great evening, whatever time it is for wherever you live, for whenever you're watching the video, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace!